Hello guys, what's up? Now let's move straight to what we're here for. Now the first thing we're going to do when we want to deploy our Django app on Elastic Beanstalk is the first thing we're going to do is that we're going to create a .eb extensions in the root folder, a folder named eb extensions in the root folder, and then we are going to create a django.config file. We're going to create a django.config file inside the .eb extensions folder, and then we're going to add some commands to it. So let's go. So we're going to create a folder. We're going to name it .eb extensions. .eb extensions, right? I hope I spelled it right. Yeah, I did. Extensions. Yeah, I did. .eb extensions. Then inside this .eb extensions, what we're going to do is that we're going to create a new file. And we're going to name it django.config file. Now what this does is that it points to where our WSGI application is. So we're going to put this we're going to paste this inside this. Just look at the code and then you can do the same thing for your own too. So this is simply telling the container where the Python name directory is. So this is the name of my backend app is ice cream. If you want to check the name of your own, you can simply go to here and then go to WSGI application, and you can see the name here. It's boldly written here, this .settings, ice cream .settings. So this is the name of your app, and you make sure that you include it here. Now the next thing we're going to do is that we're going to create in the same root folder, we're going to create another folder. We're going to name it .platform hooks post deploy. Platform hooks. Now this is now inside this .platform hooks post deploy, what we're going to do is that we're going to create another new file. I'm going to name it 01_migrate_collect static.sh. Yeah, here we go. And then we're going to put these commands in it too. Now what this file does is that this file tells the Elastic Beanstalk after it's been deployed to run this. Now it's going to tell this python py.manage python, oh I spelled this wrong, python manage manage.py migrate. And so the migration folder is already been created here. Where is it? It's already been created here. So all the migration files are already in here. So what it's telling is that when it deploys the app, also migrate, instead of doing the migration, just migrate it straight to the database. And I'll show you guys where I've already created the RDS database and I already gotten the endpoints, and I'll show you guys later on in this tutorial. So the migration folder has already been created and everything. So this file just telling the Elastic Beanstalk to migrate it when it's been deployed. So first of all, after we're done doing this, what we want to do is that we want to make this file an executable. Now the best way we can do this is that we're going to copy this file. We're going to copy this. We're going to copy this. Here we go. Now we're going to go to Git. Here we go. And we're going to run this folder. We're going to run this. What's this called again? We're going to run this command. So inside here, I'm inside the root folder. I'm inside the root folder of my backend, my Django project. I'm inside the root folder. I configured the endpoint to enter inside the root folder of my backend program. So we're gonna run this. This is telling it to make this migrate _migrate collect.sh to make it an executable file. So after we're done doing that, what we're going to do is that we're going to create a proc file inside the same root folder. So it's very hard for me to navigate, so let's create a proc file inside the same root folder. We're going to name it proc file. Hope I spell it. Proc file. Here we go. Proc file. So where is this thing? Okay, and we're gonna add this command to it. Now what this is telling it to, this is mainly used for the elastic beanstalk. I really don't know what this does, but this is just simply telling it to bind it to port 8000, and this is pointing it to our WSGI application, which is our Django, which is essential for running and deploying the Django project and all that. And then we're also going to have a requirements.txt file. So these are just telling it the libraries that it should install when the Django project has been deployed. So we have Django here, we have Django course headers, Django REST framework, Unicorn, we have job-lift, pandas and all that, request, scikit-learn and all that, speech recognition and everything. All these things are essential for the deployment of the Django project. So what should we do next? Okay, so after we're done doing this, what we're going to do is that we're going to create a folder named static file. I've already done mine, so you should do yours. Create a folder named static files. If I open it, you see this carries all my static files that I needed, all the files that are not the code, and we're going to put it inside this folder, which is to help us arrange our Django project. Now we're going to also acknowledge that in our settings.py file. So let's go to our settings.py file and to see. Okay, let me just zoom it and make it bigger here. So as you can see, it is noted in our settings. Where is it? Okay, here we go. So this carries our static URL, our static roots, base directory, which is static files, which is here. It's telling to look for it in the base directory, which is in the root directory. Look for our static files because this holds all of our pictures and our files that are not code. Oh, don't mind this. This is my hugging face. This is actually not fake. This is actually fake. So also we are going to also install our DJ database URL, which is very essential for passing our database URL. So I've already added this in the environment, and I will configure that later when I run the commands and all that. So what next we're going to do? What are we going to do next? We're also going to create our ab-ignore file, which will carry all of this. This is telling us to ignore all of this, including our Python virtual environment and all that. So the next thing we're going to do is that we're going to head over to WSL. First of all, we're going to head over to WSL. What we're going to do is that we want to use a command line interface, but the main problem is that we cannot use our normal command line interface, which is what command prompt. Now reason being is that using command prompts for elastic beanstalk command line interface will be very, very stressful, and we have to start installing, you have to start configuring for permissions and all that, and we don't want to do. We have to start installing DLI files and all that. We don't want to do that. So what we're going to do is that we're not going to use this. We're going to use WSL, which is Linux command line system. You can install, if you want to learn how to install that, you can go to somewhere else. There should be a lot of tutorials on YouTube on how you can install it, but for today we're going to use Linux. So download WSL command line. There are ways in which you can look through that and all that. So I hope this is done. Okay, now that is done, so first of all we're going to update our installer, which is, let me just paste it here so that I can see the double screens as well. So we're going to do this. We're going to run this command. We're going to run this command first to update this thing. My data is on. Make sure your own data is on too. So first of all, let's update this. I hope this is not going to take a lot of time. let it not take time, please. Let us not take time. And then after we're done doing that, we want to install Python, which is pip, Python pip and all that. Just follow my step, just follow these steps and you'll be good to go. Now that it's done, let's continue. So first, after we're done updating our apt installer and all that, what we're going to do is that we're going to take this command, we're going to run this command for it to install and update pip. Okay, yeah, okay, so it's working and all that. It's all, they're all installing. So okay, now that we have done installing pip with this command, now we're going to do is that we're going to use pip3 to install a elastic beanstalk command line interface again. This is for you guys to, I'm breaking this tutorial down so that you guys can understand this thing very well. So let me run this. Okay, wow, it's taking a lot of time. Okay, the first of all said that we have to create our Python environment for us to use this. So I've already created my Python environment. So but let me just show you guys how to create a new Python environment. So first of all, we're gonna run this command. We're gonna run this command, no, not this command, this command, Python3, to create a Python environment, because you cannot really run any Python thing without a Python environment. So okay, this is already creating it. No, there's, okay, here's what we're gonna do. I've already created a Python environment like this. The only thing that I can do now is that I want to change the name so it will look different. So Python, there's eb/cli/ezz. So we're going to name our Python environment this, and then we're going to run the same thing again. Should run it. Okay, let's wait. So it's creating the Python environment. Okay, it's done. So now let's activate it. We're going to activate it with this command. We're going to activate it with source whatever this is /eb, and we're going to go over to here. This is the name of our Python environment. I don't know why this thing keeps on shifting. This is the name of our Python environment. What we're going to do is that we're going to change it back to EZZ, just like the name of our previous one that we created before, /bin/what activate. So let's go. Run the command again. It's already created. So now let's install our pip AWS elastic beanstalk CLI activate. So let's activate it. My God, why does it keep on going down? Okay, let's go. And I will pause this thing so that this thing will finish installing, then we can carry on with the next one. Okay, so as you can see, I am done installing the AWS elastic beanstalk CLI and everything is done. Now the reason why this one didn't go initially was because of the fact that my network was very slow, so I used hotspot instead and it finished, and I'm done installing everything. So now the next thing we're going to do is that you're going to put in your AWS, you're going to do AWS configure your I've already done this. Now the reason why my own will work without me doing it, because I've already done it before, so I don't need to do this again. But I want you to type AWS configure and then you press enter, and then you put in your secret key, your region, you put in your access key and everything. Now for the fact I can do this because I've already done my own before, so we're going to continue to the next one. Now the next thing we're going to do is that we're going to create an app, elastic beanstalk app. Now how do we create it with this command? Where's my command? So we're going to do eb init python 3.11, and okay, so this is, I want to have you know that, okay, wow, this is just, let me just do it like this. Okay, so this is the name of our environment, our app, and I want to change that. So I'm going to name this our app. I'm going to name our app my Django app, my Django app. This is our region. This is the region in which I'm deploying this to. As you can see by the command here, this is the name, this is the Python Python version that I'm using, and this is the command. So we're going to do eb init /p Python. This is our Python version, my Python app, the name of my Python, of my Elastic Beanstalk app, and the region. So I'm going to deploy it to Elastic Beanstalk by typing. I'm going to type in this and I'm going to press enter. Now let's wait. It is creating it, so let's wait. As it keeps on doing that, I'm going to push it here like this. Okay, and it says my application Django app has been created. Now after we're done doing this, what we want to do is I want to create an environment. So we're going to do eb create. This is going to be, I'm going to copy this command. As you can see now, we use this command to create an application version, and as it creates an application version, it also creates an environment for your app, so for your Elastic Beanstalk app. So let me copy this, but then the thing is that we cannot use Bluetooth data. What we want to use is we want to use hotspots, because so that it can go fast, so that we don't have to wait, so that it can go fast. So I'm going to connect my hotspot to my laptop so that it can go very fast. And before I do any of that, first of all, I want to make you know that for this command to work, first of all, you have to enter into your root directory. You have to enter into the directory of your backend, which is the ice cream, before it will work. So here's my directory. Desktop, full stack, health care assistant, backend, ice cream. So I want to make sure that my Linux environment is pointing towards that directory. And how I'm going to do that is by running this command. I'm sorry, I don't really have this command here with me. Okay, here we go. So let me just open it here. Look at it, mntc/users chinyere uchime. This is my laptop name. We're going to enter the desktop, and we're going to enter full stack AI healthcare assistant, backend, ice cream. Okay, so we're going to make our distance to point. This is the CD. We're going to make it to enter into the directory of our backend root folder. As you can see, it's already done that. So now let's continue with our command. Okay, I already have the distance in my head, so I can. It's okay for you to have a place where you write down all these commands so that you don't forget it. Okay, so I don't, in case you forget it. Okay, so let me just copy this command from here again. We're going to do eb create. This is going to be the name of my, let's post it here. eb creates this. We are going to tell it, we are telling it to create an environment named Sudoka. This is the name. I'll just rename it to Victor's ENV. Okay, let's name it this, and then it's creating. Hope it's, as you can see, it's already connected to my hotspots. It is best that you use a very strong network when you're creating the environment, so that it will go fast, because most of the times the environment takes time to load and all that. So as you can see, it is already creating my application version. So let's wait for it to finish. As you can see, it's creating it. Let's check on this. Here's my environment. Okay, it's loading. It's still creating. It's still being created. So let's wait. Let's go back here. As you can see, it's uploading the environment as well. So now let's wait and let's see it through. This might take a lot of time, but let's just wait. I think I should pause it, and then when it's done, I'll now show you guys. Or should I just wait? It might take a lot of time though. It might take a lot of time, for reals. Okay, so you know what, I'll pause it. Okay guys, as you can see, I've already done this. As you can see, it's still loading, but I want to show you this. So as you run this command, it will start saying create environment is starting using elastic beanstalk. So it's going to create AWS S3 storage buckets for your environment data and all that, and your security groups and your target groups and all that. So the left for you to do is just to wait as it creates the thing. Guys, as you can see, my environment has been created. Let me just take it here. So as you can see, it's created the CloudWatch for me, it created the load balancer for me, it created the auto scaling for me, and EC2 instance and everything allocated with it. It created it and it has launched me. As you all know, that Elastic Beanstalk offers platform as a service in which everything is already been created for you. The only thing left for you is just to run the commands. And so why is Elastic Beanstalk good for you? Elastic Beanstalk helps you in easy deployments, and on top of that, Elastic Beanstalk also makes the deployment easy for you, and then it's also affordable as well. It doesn't really use much instances, that's depending on the app that you're using. So I've already created the environment and my application has already been created. Let's just wait for it to load. It might take time. I don't know why it's taking time, but first of all, after we're done with that, what we want to do is that we want to configure. Like I told you, I've already created my I already have my database instance running. Let's go over to RDS instance. So what I want to do is that I want to connect my database to my Python, to my app. I don't know why this is taking time. I'm not supposed to network and all that. So here's let's go over to my Amazon. RDS and all that. All of that has already been created. Now what I want to do is that I want to add this in my environment variable. So I'm going to copy this. As you can see, my database has already been created. If you want me to, my database has already been created. And all that. My database has already been created. So now what I want to do is that we're going to enter inside here, and I also want to make it to connect to I want to add this to my database URL. Now the reason why I'm allowing you guys to see my password is because I'm still going to delete it afterwards before I upload this video on YouTube. So look at this, look at the URL, look at database URL and all that. We're going to configure it to connect to Django and all that. So let me run it. So it's already updating my environment, and I will holler at you guys when it is done. Okay guys, as you can see, I've already finished updating the environment like I showed you earlier before. Like I showed you earlier before. Where's my, as I ran the URL configuration and all that, it was successful and all that, and it has already deployed the new configuration to the environment. And as you can see, my backend page is now showing. Now the reason why I left this is to show you guys a proof. Normally I'm meant to go to the security groups, and I'm going to make it in a way that nobody can access our backend with just the URL, because backend is meant to be private, and if people access it, it's going to destroy your app. So I'm just making it public for people to see the configuration and all that. Not like I'm making any mistake or anything, so I don't come for me in the comment section. Okay, so everything is done, and stay tuned for the next tutorial on how I will deploy my React app on Amplify. Thank you. Now in this tutorial, we are going to be, for this part, we are going to be deploying our React front end to Amplify. That's AWS services Amplify. Now before you start this project, make sure that you already have your GitHub token. As you can see, I've already created my GitHub token and I've stored it here in this place, but I'm not going to show it to you guys because of security reasons. So I've already created my GitHub token, and I added a admin that's a repo hook. This is to, whenever we push any updates to this repo, it automatically gets updated in this Amplify. So I made it like that. It's the settings, and also give it the full access to the repository. Now I've created this token and I've stored it here in my file. Unfortunately, I don't want to open this so you guys don't see you guys will see this thing. So I'm trying to avoid that. So let's continue. So first of all, the reason why I'm using the GUI interface, which is the graphics user interface, instead of the command line interface, is because of the permissions and authentication, the GitHub authentication. If I should use CLI, it will give me problems. So that's why I just chose to use the graphics user interface. So I've clicked on GitHub and we'll click on next. Now it's automatically going to take me to my GitHub, but I've already given it the permissions to accept it. So it's just going to load for a while. We'll have to wait. Yeah, we'll have to wait. Okay guys, so I've already connected my GitHub to this place, to Amplify, and I will simply select, and it will list, after you're done connecting it will list out all the repositories that are there. You simply select healthcare. This is my own, this is the repository that I want to connect, so I'm going to select it, and then I'm also going to select the main branch, which is, and then I'm going to press what, next. Now it is asking me for various of it. So first of all, for here we're going to put npm run build, and for here we're going to put /build. Instead of putting /build, my own is /dist. Remember that my own is /dist. So then we're gonna go over here and we're gonna work on this. Hey guys, so let's continue. So now this is the most important phase of this tutorial, and also the project that you're building, the React app that you're going to deploy on this Amplify. Now why do I say this? Now this file amplify.yaml, this literally tells the Amplify what to do, and if you get this wrong, then you have failed the whole building process. Now I want you to look at this command first. This says pre-built, and then this command says cd front end. Now the reason why I wrote cd front end was because in my React project I added all the React folders and its subfolders inside this front end. Now, and I've already deployed it in my GitHub account like this. So we're telling this thing that as you've gotten the repo, I want you to also enter into this folder called the front end folder, and then you can now look for the React files inside this folder. And then if you look at here, I said front end /dist. Now my build folder output was not build, but rather it was dist, as you can see here. When I finished building the folder, the app, sorry, it came out as dist instead of build. Normally it's meant to be build, but it came out as dist. So due to the fact that it came out as dist, we have to acknowledge it here by saying front end /dist. As you can see, the base directory, artifacts base directory, front end /dist. Now if you get this part wrong, you will encounter a lot of errors in your building. So I think everything is all done, and front end /nodules and all that, we save. And then this is actually quite simple, it's not really that hard. And then we press next, and then we look at all the whole settings and everything looks okay, and we now say save and deploy. Now it's creating our app, guys. Now I'm gonna have to pause this video so that it won't be so long, and then I'll start on from later. Okay guys, as you can see, my project has been deployed, and let's go to the domain and see what it will say. Now it's loading. Okay guys, as you can see, my project is up, and here we go. Let me just reload it. Okay, wow, it's a very nice. So this project that I built, I used Python, it's used React and then Python for the backend. What it does is that it mainly predicts diseases and all that, but I'm still working on it yet. Okay, I don't know why these pictures are not loading. You know, it has a sign up and all that. I don't want to go into any of these details, but we are able to deploy the app on the Amplify, which is a good thing, and all that, which is a good thing. Yeah, it's very nice. And so please guys, if you have any questions that you want to ask me, please feel free to ask me in the comment section. I will immediately answer you. I'll immediately get back to you. Feel free to ask me any question, and watch out for more of my tutorials. Okay, thank you.